You are listening to Vital 100, the podcast designed to take your health to the next level.
Are you thinking of getting a tattoo or increasing your existing ink? Then you don't want to miss this next episode of Vital 100 Podcast. Hi, this is Dr. Bob Johnson. Today, I'm going to tell you why the new trend of covering your body in philosophical platitudes and tired vectors of natural beauty, in other words, tattoos, might be making you sick. Before I get to that, whatever platform you're listening to on this production, make sure you leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to get the latest health news from me and my team. If you haven't already visited our website, Vital 100 Wellness, give us your email and get quite a few free ebooks. Today we're going to talk about tattoos. It's an increasing trend. People think it's exciting to get one. It states a message. It reminds them of certain things. Some people think it's sexy and they just want to do it. Well, it's very important to know what you're getting into when you actually get a tattoo. What you're doing is you are implanting ink underneath the skin. And if you realize that when you put makeup on or you put anything on your skin, in fact, a lot of pharmaceuticals and stuff are absorbed transdermally across the skin, you realize that the skin absorbs it. And when you're putting ink of a tattoo under your skin, what you're doing is you're implanting very toxic and dangerous inks under your skin, and certain studies have shown that these inks that are implanted are composed of many toxic materials: titanium, lead, chromium, aluminum, and what happens is these are toxic chemicals that the body picks up, more specifically what the lymph system picks up, and I'll describe what the lymph system is in just a minute. The lymph system picks up and it transports to the rest of the body. Your lymph system is the system, it's actually the second circulatory system other than the blood, and what it is, it's a system of liquids that's transported around the body. It picks up toxins and filters them at the lymph nodes, the biggest lymph node being the tonsil. And what happens is it picks up these toxins. The other thing that the lymph system does is it actually transports the immune cells, meaning the white blood cells and other cells that are needed for immunity. It transports those to where the body needs them. So let's say you have an infection in your throat, or you have an infection in the liver or the gut. The lymph system will bring white blood cells, which are the immune system, to where they're needed. Now, if you are implanting ink and in the form of tattoos under your skin, what's happening is all of a sudden not only are you getting an inflammatory reaction, we'll describe that in just a second, but you are also putting toxic, dangerous chemicals under your skin. The FDA and regulatory agencies that regulate this type of product have not come out and banned these, but you might want to think twice before you actually do get a tattoo. So various studies of live people, but also cadavers, have shown that in comparing people with tattoos versus people who have not had tattoos, the lymph system has picked up a significant amount of these toxic materials. And in some people, it actually colors the lymph system. So what's happening is when the lymph system is involved in picking these things up and transporting them to other parts of the body, like the brain, the liver, the heart, spleen, any number of very important organs and tissues, and deposits them or tries to be filtered out there, you are compromising the function of those tissues and those organs. So tattoos are going to be compromising your brain, your heart, your liver, all of which are very, very important in the function of your body. Also, you are compromising your immune system, so you're going to be more susceptible to picking up things like infections, and you're going to be compromising your ability to get rid of other toxins that you are inevitably exposed to in the food, in the air, in your home, skincare products, those kind of things. So what you're doing with tattoos is you're telling your immune system, spend half your time getting rid of the toxic inks in the tattoo, and the other time you can devote to other things that you need to do. The liver is very important because it filters out toxins as the lymph system comes to the liver. And the liver forms many, many functions, including immunity, including hormones. It functions in so many ways. So by depositing the toxic chemicals in the tattoos, what you're doing is you're compromising the ability of the liver, which incidentally forms at least 300 to 400 other functions. So you're compromising every one of those. Now I know some of them look very sexy, some of them look very nice and so forth, but I think it's important to understand what you're actually doing when you get these toxic inks put underneath your skin. And keep in mind that you're being exposed to them now 24/7. Now there's another important aspect of getting a tattoo, and that is the tattoo is creating a scar in your body, obviously on the skin. In neural therapy, in European clinics and so forth, the scars have been shown and are treated, whether they be gallbladder removal or whether they're a open heart surgery or a cesarean section or some kind of a trauma that you have an ongoing scar. What happens is these scars provide or give a constant adverse negative input into the nervous system. So it's kind of like your body is always being revved up by these scars. So if you're voluntarily doing a tattoo, or for that matter, a piercing, what you're doing is you are constantly revving up the body. You're constantly stimulating the nervous system. Short run, that's fine. In the long term, it's going to make you more exhausted. It's going to make your brain eventually lose function. You're going to be losing the ability to produce energy through the mitochondria in the cells. You're going to be compromising a lot by getting these scars, whether they be tattoos or piercings. Also, if you're getting tattoos removed, this is going to create further scars. So you really do need to understand what you're doing by getting tattoos. And it's not all that pretty when you have to deal with people that are having their health compromised. What should you do prior to getting a tattoo? I think you really do need to decide whether you want to get one or not. And there are certain inks in tattoos that are less toxic than other inks. So you want to do your research on which of the more toxic ones. The green, blue, red, and actually white inks are the more toxic ones. And so you want to avoid those where you can. I would also make sure that before you get a tattoo or decide to get one, that you make sure your body's detoxification system, the lymph system, is functioning at a much higher level. And after you get a tattoo, you want to make sure that the things that are being compromised, meaning the functions, the different systems of the body that are being compromised by tattoos and or piercings, are going to be up and running at a very high level, and that all through your life you are going to need to be enhancing the function of those things. For example, with many people that have compromised immune systems, we get their lymphatic system up and running on a regular basis. One thing that can help your lymphatic system cleanse better is to make sure you're exercising on a regular basis. Massage does that, but we have certain products that actually make the lymph system much higher functioning. The other thing with tattoos and or piercings is that we need to, after you get them, is to do a little neurotherapy on them. You can also rub into tattoos and rub into areas of piercings. You can rub good oils like coconut oil, like olive oil, or other oils that are very healthy. You can rub into those areas, and that will enhance a body's ability to deal with the toxins of the piercings and or the tattoos. So that's very important to understand what you're getting into, what you're going to have to do, and do you feel like what you're putting on your skin in the form of a tattoo is worth the health compromises that you are going to now be dealing with. I want to make one other comment about the scars and or the piercings, and that is, I don't know if any or all of you know about the acupuncture meridians that run throughout the body. Well, what acupuncturists do is they stimulate and or suppress the movement through the acupuncture or energy meridians or pathways in the body to enhance our health. If you are doing a piercing or you're doing a tattoo, what you're doing is you are doing a permanent acupuncture treatment in that area, and over the long term, it's going to exhaust you. It's going to overstimulate the body's nervous system, and that is not something that you want to do. So I would make sure that when you are indeed thinking about a tattoo, you now know information that's important. You want to try to minimize the tattoo if you're going to get one. Make sure the inks that you're using are not the most damaging or toxic. You want to make sure that you're enhancing the body's systems that are going to have to now deal with this toxin 24/7, and you want to do things that are going to minimize the problem with constant stimulation from the scar that's going to be created by the tattoos and or the piercings. So I hope that this is a little bit of a warning, and if you still decide to get a tattoo because you think it's sexy, what's it going to look like in 5, 10, 15 years when all that ink starts to drain out and it starts to fade and people don't even know what it looks like anymore because it's just a dark spot on your skin. So I think that's important to understand that, the precautions, the challenges to your overall health. I personally feel that health is the most important thing, and since we're having to deal with many things in our environment like toxic foods and water and EMFs and all those kind of things, that you want to not voluntarily do things that are going to give you challenges to your health. You might want to minimize the alcohol you drink. You might want to minimize any toxic exposure to things, but you got to think twice about what you're doing to yourself with tattoos. Now, I think they're kind of sexy, some of them, for some of the smaller ones, but I would not get one myself. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get a hold of us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And please, if you're listening to this, is give us a like or subscribe on our site to get free ebooks, because ultimately, health is the most important thing you have. Take care. I hope you enjoy the journey.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Vital 100. Check out our website at vital100wellness.com for more episodes, blogs, supplements, and more. If you have questions for Dr. Bob, or if you have feedback or recommendations for the podcast, please send an email to info@vital100wellness.com.